Chen.
Yeah, welcome to...
Workshop 2. Okay.
So workshop 3.
3.
3, yeah.
Welcome to my presentation. I hope you enjoy it. So my topic is new peri-urban agriculture system for Auckland towards a sustainable farming-centered residential development. So my research question is how can we harness peri-urban agriculture with periphery urban growth? Second question is how can we create a model for the radical transformation of an industrialized agriculture system?
Just slow down.
You can speak quicker than we can understand.
That's not possible.
That's not possible.
We are not catching the train. Just
Okay,
slow down.
sure. Agriculture, sure. Sorry about it. Agriculture system into locally based sustainable model in peri-urban area, Auckland. So some background, what is peri-urban? So peri-urban is the area between the rural hinterland and urban settlement. So in Auckland, we have rural-urban boundary. So outside the rural boundary will be rural areas for next 30 years. So I decide between the urban settlement and rural boundary is our peri-urban area. So you could have a look at the red color is the rural boundary. So with the white color and the red color is our peri-urban area in Auckland. So peri-urban agriculture is present in peri-urban areas, which is the production units close to the town and the city. So what happened in Auckland is we have urban sprawl. There's many reasons like population growth or the demand for housing. And which result is we lose our farmland. So almost 10% of the best quality land has been converted from food producing land to urban development in recent years. Another thing is the subdivision happening in our farmland. So let's introduce two kind of food system. One is the industrialized agricultural system. So it's normal like we grow food in rural areas and transport it to the city. So another one is a local food system. So grow and consumption is both happening in city, and it is close the circle from the food production to waste. And people living in city could have a more option. They can go to urban agriculture, go to farm market, go to local food shop, or go to rural agriculture shop. So, but yeah, sure. But actually, as we know, over 90% the food resource in Auckland is from outside of Auckland, and we know that half of the world food is lost, waste from in the food chain, from farm to shop, from customer to dump. So why we need a sustainable local food system in peri-urban? Because we have a lot of challenge and opportunity. For example, the existing food system caused a healthy problem and have a long footprint and is fossil fuel-based agricultural system, but we know the fossil fuel is running out. So the opportunity is like the people have already realized. So the local food and the healthy food is important for their life, and the local food could contribute to local economy. So how could we deal to this challenge and opportunity? So first, I introduced the green belt. Green belt actually is a swathe of land around the city to protect the natural resource and slow down the urban sprawl. So this is so the first green belt built in London. So in 1938. So compared to 1945, the agricultural land use had fallen by 70%, replaced with golf courses, school, or open space. The reason why is people doesn't care about the farmland surrounding their house. They need a place, they need open space to play soccer or play rugby. They don't need a farmland around their house. So just because you save land doesn't mean that you save agriculture. We need people to really care about the farmland. So another model is green ridge. So green ridge will drive preserved land down to the city. So they will have more interaction with people. We rebuild the connection between food and the people. And in agricultural urbanism, we believe agriculture, the productive landscape could be a green infrastructure in the city at a different level. You cannot put a big farm in the city center, but you can put a roof garden in the city center and move the big farm to the rural or to the peri-urban area. So let's introduce the permaculture concept design. So I believe this is a kind of a system thinking, or it's kind of a relationship design. So it's kind of, this design care about the people, what the people need, care about what the nature need, and make a connection. So let's look at some case studies. So Cuba's agriculture. So Cuba lost the fossil fuel supply a few years ago. So they have to make a revolution on their food system. So, but what happened today is the agriculture in Havana covered 12% of the city land, provide 70% of food, residence vegetable requirement, which means it's really possible to grow food in city and support ourselves. So let's going back. So why something wrong with industrialized agriculture? It's because in the back, so industrialized agriculture pursue the maximum yield per labor, per people. So, but there's not enough people in the agriculture activity. So we have to use a big machine or chemical to maximum the yield. But so this is the reason why this problem happened. Energy crisis, health problem, pollution. So let's look back. What if we have enough people to engage in the agriculture activity? So where the people is? The people live in community. So I decided, oh, how about build something near the people? We built a farming center, the residential area. So, and I believe only the local food system can only compete with the industrialized system when all the people engaged in the agriculture activity. So create a sustainable community-based local system is different with you just build urban agriculture. Because to build urban agriculture, you just care about you want to find a place to grow some food and feed yourself. But for build a community-based local food system, you need to care about everything from the production, processing, distribution, retailing, consumption, waste, everything. So the only way is you support everything to reach the sustainable future. And it's similar to the permaculture concept. So set the selection. So which is the best place for our research? So we have to find where the community is. So it's future housing development. We happen the chosen place. So I find a special housing area. And what you can say is there's a lot of special housing area close to the Auckland region. And some of them is near the rural-urban boundary. It's the peri-urban area. So I believe if we look at the big region, so we believe we can build Auckland local food system. So peri-urban area is one part of the food system. It's a very important part of it. So in this region, we can do self-sufficient, and the rest of the food we can contribute to the city to build the system. So, and then I look at the soil quality. I found that the South Auckland have a better quality, and it's very important for the production area in Auckland. So I moved down to the South Auckland. So I found that there's two special housing areas in Pukekohe. One is Wesley College, another one is Belmont. So there's a lot of advantage to build for the system in Pukekohe, like they have a good transport, they have a long farming history, they have a big farm market, and they have a beautiful natural results. And if we look at the community block in Pukekohe, it said like this is a town center, so this is the community center, and this is another community center. There's not too many community centers, so the block, the living block, is separate, it's broken. So what I decided to is we built a feminist living block, so you can get everything in the living block. It's a workable community. So why we do this? Because if you see for the result, it said you can say this is a crop surround the Pokokoi region. And usually what we get is from the rural area to the town center, to the city. So what I decided, like, there's a lot of potential because there's a lot of open space around here. So how about if we build the food system in the local community, in the 5 minutes living block? So special housing area, Belmont and Wesley College is one part of the Pokokoi local food system. So I checked the soil quality and the land cover. So I decide the Belmont is the best place for research because it's best soil and the land cover is crop. So have a look at the Belmont. So Belmont is a good location. In 2 kilometers, it can reach supermarket, farm market, and the train station. So it's just 40 minutes from Auckland Center, 5 minutes to town center. But in the future, it will be a house without farmland. So talk about some case study. This is a case study from Australia. So what they do is they built a compact city, 100 houses with 4 hectares of the 15 hectare site. So in return, they get a 10 hectare urban forest. So the people living here said, I don't feel I live in the city. I feel like I live in the forest. So another case study, Southland, is from Canada. So what they do is they engage the agriculture, all skills of agricultural production in the community to create opportunity for people to enjoy locally produced food. And what they also do is they preserve a minimum of 2/3 of a state for open space or for farmland. So I decided, they all built a compact city. So could we build a compact city in Belmont? So I do a needs and a result analysis, and I see I researched the surrounding living block is 13 houses per hectare. So in the plans, we will build 700 houses. So it's about 8 houses per hectare. So if we double the density. So we can calculate how much area we need. It's about 30 hectares, but totally it's 90 hectares. And we can calculate how many people live in here and how much energy they need from vegetable. So we can calculate how much agricultural land they need. So it's absolutely possible to build a compact city and meet the demand from the demand for vegetable. And we build in different block, so different density, and the people can have option. They can live in countryside. They can live in countryside block, or they can live in townhouse. So maybe you don't want to engage in too many garden work, so you just attend the community work. So I do a zoo analysis. Why? So zoo analysis is a zoo system organized part of a design in relationship to the user and the center for use. So first, when we design, we have to find the zoo zero. Zoo zero is people. So where the people living? So where the house it is? We're located. So the land should be flat, have a north aspect, keep a distance from storm-water, nature heritage, and close to the road. So this dark color is the best place for building a house. So then we organized from the best place to build a house to the edge of the community, from high density to less density. So this is what it looks like from high density to single house to semi-countryside block. So then before we organize the productive landscape, we need to do some sector analysis. The sector analysis, it organizes the relationship. It organizes the element into useful relationship. So we organize the rainwater, human resource, solar energy, farm resource, food, garden waste. Yeah. So what do we? So yeah. So what? So the solution is we build rainwater and Grey Water Network, 10 Bank, Sun Trap Design, Local Business Network, Local Western Network. So this is so in sector analysis, we like water. We want to water get through the system as long as possible. So we have to find out who needs the storm water. So this is a sector who needs storm water and grey water and make a connection with them. So yeah. So it's like, so what we do is, usually this way to do farm, so it's the king line, king point design. So this is, usually it's like a natural way, if the rainfall, it's downlays. So king line is the most steep contours. So then here it's easily to get river, to get the rain or storm water. And with the contours, we plant some trees to capture, to store the water or create a ditch. So there's no dry areas. Everywhere have water. So I identified a king line in the whole region and order the river to the center of the community, which located a river gate cross the community. So this is but this is a way to organize the water in farms. But we build a community, so there's a house in here. So I connect the rainwater harvest with the grey water management. So it's like, so this is a key point. This is the best place to capture the water. So this is the dam. So this is the contours. So in here is connect the grey water system. So no matter the dry season or not, this is same level. It will recharge. If it's dry here, so it will recharge to the agricultural park. So all season they have water supply. So this is like a sun trip, so like nature. Everyone needs the sun, include people and the nature, so we organize the tree and people like nature. So everyone can get sun. So this is found, it's talk about money, so usually we buy some stuff in the supermarket, but actually the money is, when you pay the money is going outside of the community. But actually what we want is make money get through the community, make a connection in the community. So people working in the local food shop, maybe at dinner, they want to buy some food in contracted restaurant. So the people, so the food in restaurant, the food is from farm market. So it's all can connect. So, yeah, so this is, so the same. So all the ways, so we get all the sector connect. So this is a composed area. So we need to care about every percent of food production. So this is how it function. So this is final. We organize the protective landscape from high density to low density with different level, from roof garden to public garden. So this is what it will look like. And this is the master plan. When I organize all the sector with sector analysis and do analysis. So this make a conclusion. So first we talk about we lose of land. So we talk about drawback of industrialized agricultural system. So we talk about we need people to engage into agricultural activity. So we talk about we need to build a farmer-centered residential development. So this is a whole process of the community food production. So we use permaculture. In permaculture, we have sector analysis, do analysis to support all process of the local food system. Yeah, so that's my way too. So finally, we build a community-based local food system to solve this problem, to protect our farmland. Thank you.
You can breathe now. Okay. Let's kick off.
Well, wow. Look, I quite like the topic. You chose the topic. I think you actually have given us a good description of what peri-urban is through your eyes, and you've given us a sort of a trip through history of different sort of green belts and wedges and permaculture, and you gave us case studies. The case studies seemed pertinent, and they sort of, you built and built and built. Like, in terms of presentation, I kind of wanted to know where you were heading, you know, at the front end, just a little, you know, exec summary or where we're heading, just, you know, what we're going to see, but that's all right. I felt there was too much analysis.
Oh yeah,
You know, there was,
I want to show.
yeah, your enthusiasm knows no bounds, and it's captivating. So congratulations on that. And so I felt the analysis was overpowered the design in a way, and sort of almost you were using the analysis to support the design and come back to the design. So I was looking. In the design slide you flicked across, so somehow I had no idea how you got to that design and the street layouts and the patterns and things like that. And but I do know that you're talking about, I think, systems design.
Yeah.
And overlaying that over a plan, which is almost like you've been given that plan. You know, because I don't know how you arrived at that plan, and I don't know how good that plan would be. When I saw the 3D. I was, you know, and I wasn't quite sure. I struggled to engage that and how that stitched into the other communities around it and things like that. So it was a bit like something had dropped in your lap from somewhere. I think it was this mythical town called Belmont, and you did show it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But it's maybe I wanted to engage a bit more. Had enough space to engage with what it was doing there, how it connected to everything else. So I got the systems, and I got the idea that you were. How could you shorten the distance between farm and table, and you needed more people in the areas to do that. You wanted to attract people to the area, and you did that. So there was sort of something that was, and I think you've chosen a really good area. So a lot of that things is really good. I just struggled a little bit with how you landed so quickly with some of that stuff without me having enough space or time to think about that or understand it.
Absolutely. You were very thorough with your analysis, which I think by the time you reached the end, there was no time to explain your design, which is the purpose, I believe, of this workshop. So before we talk a little bit more about that, just make sure that for your oral defense, you try to shorten that analysis, that we actually have proper time to talk about your design. I think that if you are able now to go back to your design and actually reflect on the design process you used, the same way that you did for analysis, and be critical on that, and then go back to your analysis and see, oh, maybe I don't need this, you know, I don't need to talk about everything. It's not about quantity, it's about the quality. I think that then you are able to come up with a very strong rationale to explain your design outcome, because it's very hard now to judge that, because we didn't have time to discuss it properly. But I agree with Richard. Like I think the theme is very interesting, and you did a very thorough overview in many possible different ways. It might be a bit too much, and we just probably need to focus in a little less in order that design can come up stronger, because I just feel that it's just too much. It's a bit overwhelming.
So actually the design of use permaculture. So permaculture included two kind of things: zoo analysis and sector analysis. So all for what? For organize the relationship between the people. So we put the to close the relationship with things around the people. This is my way to, and organize all the sector into people, involved in the people. So this is my way to design everything: money or water, everything. Or the skill.
But you had to draw a line where the roads went, and you had to draw a box where the house was, and you had to decide where there was the higher density and the lower density. And so we have no understanding quite of what made
how you reached
that. So that to us is a mystery at the end of it. After all the analysis, that still remains a mystery.
I think that, like, if I look back to here, my question is like, right, so how does this translate into design principles?
Design principles.
Design actions. How are you going to design this?
So I support all part of. So this like conclusion. So in here, we care about the oral process. So we use sector sector
How is that
analysis.
physical?
How
Is that
gonna
physically
look-
manifest in a design?
Can you show us that?
Yeah, how-
in the design?
how
For
will be
example,
how will be the form?
for water, so it's like a sector analysis. So we try to make the rainwater get through every sector in the community. So this is we connect the people, we connect the house, connect everything.
So in
So
that,
how did the houses arrive there in that
Yeah.
position? So you tell us how
So
those
first-
houses, the black ones, how did
so,
you make
so
it?
first
No,
we,
no, go back, go back, stop. Go to that diagram on the left and tell us how you managed to put the black houses there and the green houses there, or the different types of houses in that position.
Why are there and not?
because we do the zone analysis at first to organize zone 1, zone 0.
Yeah.
Zone 0 is from the high density to less density, from the city of the to the center of the community to the edge of the community. So it's from the high density to low density. So this is why so then we can organize so after we so why the shape is like this. So we have to organize the sector. Then at the last we use zone analysis again to organize the productive landscape, the scale or something like that.
So I
it's
get
still
the
see it
rationale.
on- Yeah,
I get
you
the
see it
rationale,
on the
it's really creative.
three-dimensional, and then doesn't work.
Yeah.
You go back to the three-dimensional.
What?
For more?
the
No,
The
no,
model.
No, the model.
The 3D model you have at
Yeah.
the end. That
You
one.
know, that one there. Okay, so after all that exercise and analysis and a location of activities and production and so on, you'll die of unhappiness living there. You'll be able to eat food, the best food ever, but you'll die of unhappiness because how the buildings is kind of a mathematical, it's like a domino effect. You start this process with that analysis that throws the first piece of the domino, and then you finish with the last one, out of control, which is that 3D view. How then you go back to the system? Maybe there is something wrong on the system, or you are perfectly happy with that.
It's not in detail yet, so just briefly, show all. So this picture is show the different scale of a garden in here. So from the roof garden to public space or the single house garden. So this is the reason I show the photo is show different engaged. So community could engage all scale of the protective landscape. It's like we talked about before. In the city, we build a roof garden. In the rural, we build a farm. So it's just a part of this. Yeah. So this is idea to show different density. We can use different density. We can use a different way to design.
Yeah.
So this is what I say.
So I think. Oh, you finish. Finish. Oh, okay. So Chen, I think what I think you have. I think that perhaps this is a diagram that that supports your proposition of your, incredible analysis that you have delivered, and data-driven. Your data-driven analysis has come up with a diagram, and perhaps that is a viable proposition for a Master of Landscape Architecture thesis, that it is not a design that you are creating, it is a system proposition. That could be fine. That's for your examiners to determine. But what I would say is that if that is your thesis, then you are open to criticism based on your proposition. What the outcome. So, for instance, I question the effort that it would work. I don't believe the system that you've proposed. I haven't been sold. I don't buy it that it would work, and that's your job. You have to sell it to me as a system. If your design is a system, you have to sell me the system. I don't buy it. I don't think it's going to work. It's miles away from the city centre. Where are these people working? How does the economy work? Looks like there's, I don't know, 5,000 people live in that quadrant.
No.
How many people in each of those blocks? Maybe
So this is just
maybe
so
50
this is
to 100?
just here.
Yeah, no, back to the 3D.
The 3D kitchen.
So 3D, those blocks are 5 stories. Those are those street blocks. They look like on each floor they might have maybe 8 to 10 units with 2 bedrooms. There's a lot of people living in this sector, right? Where are they working? No, I don't want you to answer that. What I'm saying is, if
the living block is not here.
if you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
2 deaths already.
That's a statement. That's a quote, which is talking about an aphorism, which talks about if your proposition is based on an analytical data, then your result can be critiqued on that. So you're not. I don't think we can critique you on design, but we can critique you on your approach. And I'm saying it's not sold to me.
So what's wrong with the design?
I think the water thing is really cool. I can see the water, that you've really thought about the water.
Yeah, sure.
The food, how the food production in this would feed these people, and also the amount of time that they would need to spend growing food.
Yeah. This is the reason
and not earning money.
why I designed the 10 bag system. So
Yeah.
in bag 10 system, maybe you have ocean. I want to garden, but I don't have time to maintain it. Okay, so bag system is active
Okay.
alternative economic model. It's like we use time or share the skill experience rather than use money.
So Chen's done some research of similar permaculture settlement projects in Australia and
Okay.
New Zealand. So he based his
Right.
this one on that.
So somebody, you live in that. Go back to the 3D. You go.
So it's just a basic for.
So somebody comes from outside of that block and works on that in that agricultural thing,
Good plan.
or is that a totally self-contained machine?
Plan.
So this is the plan.
So you're living here, and then this is.
Is
What
that,
you are
is
working
that
with a compact
economically
activity.
contained?
So at the moment, Belmont, the plan for Belmont is the whole thing's
So
covered in.
It's a whole thing
it's
farmland.
covered in- Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's saying, don't do that. What's another model?
Will that grow enough food to feed those people?
Yeah.
How many people?
Over 2,000 people living in whole region.
Look like more to me, but
Because just the 700 houses.
Calculate.
okay.
So over maybe 2,000. And we only need 20 hectares for food production can feed the people. So we have over food.
So I think those, and I think Sue's right in trying to give you a lead in some ways, because I think if you're saying that you've got an analysis and you want to change the typology, and the typology is based on almost maths here, is that the amount of land to support the density, we can do it in a different way.
Yeah.
You've chosen the site well. I think the analysis for choosing the site's good. Got questions around the design, but if you're just actually talking about the density and the density within a certain area and how that could coexist with open land, then I think that's thesis. You probably could make that. You can make that better by letting us understand the maths around that.
Yeah.
And then frameworking it is, so you've called it a concept design, and it's almost to me it'd almost be better if you actually didn't show buildings, you actually showed zones of
area.
typologies, where you said a lower density and a higher density typology, and put the mathematical formula on each typology, and then took the land that would support the total.
Because none of us want to live there,
yeah.
even though we're all greenies.
But we might, taking those densities, we might actually we might be able to play with those densities in a different way.
Yes.
That might make it attractive for us, or
Yeah, someone like Richard.
or someone I know.
That was someone that works for Richard could probably make it look quite a nice place to live.
The other thing that I think it needs to be demonstrated is I mean, you have arrived to that ideal size.
Yeah.
Can this machine, a Vibra, can be 10 times bigger or no?
You mean the site?
No, that. So if the machine is that, you have people on here and you need this piece of land to feed them.
No.
Can this be 5 times bigger, or has always
and can it be cookie cutted, I suppose? And it's a system, isn't it? You've designed a system.
Sure.
You know, when does the machine stop working? If you do twice the size, it still works?
We have to calculate how many people in there, how many agricultural land in here.
So when it starts working and when it stops working, I think it's pretty important to determine, to fix that. And when it starts being relevant to Auckland. Like if, you know, supposedly that works, you enlarge it, I don't know, 10 times, and you can fit it in Auckland, then you can fit everyone in Auckland from...
But you can't use your car to go to the beach because you're not earning money.
Correct. So what is the smallest that you can do and what is the biggest? The train from the previous project.
Something that this is about me, but anyway, never mind. I have a thesis that Auckland in the 1930s was a sustainable city system because only a few people owned cars. The land that was productive around was in Point Chev and in parts of, I don't know if you know Central Auckland, but you know, parts of Westmere was farmland. There was a dairy farm there and a chicken place, and there was like people used. Yes, it was still cows there now. But anyway, as a city system, I believe that was reasonably sustainable. People used public transport. People lived middle-class lives as well, but I suppose not like our middle-class lives. But anyway, I just think that that's kind of interesting too, because it's not just about numbers. It's just not just about 20 hectares will feed, 2,000 people. It's about the whole, the way that people get around. And in the 30s in Auckland city centre, so the edge of that was the edge of Ponsonby, right? That, you know, you can see where the villas end, and the start of the bungalows is where you see that edge. People sailed yachts. They had kayaks. They had a pleasant life. They could go places, and they were earning. They worked in the city and they earned money. I mean, it was an economy. My critique of this is, where do they work? You know, and how do they get? How does the transport? How does the transport? You know, like
it's just a 2 kilometers to the train station.
Yeah. Right.
So this is why we choose here. This good transport.
But if you
have good soil, land.
Sure, but if you have to drive, if you have to take the train all the way to the city centre, that's going to be like an hour and 2 hours a day. How much time have you got for gardening?
But somebody else is gardening.
Okay.
You do have to do garden.
Yeah.
You have option. If you don't want to do garden,
I
think
it'll work.
You live in a townhouse. You don't need to garden. So somebody else will have they do community garden.
Yeah.
So you have to support them.
Yeah.
Because I only get enough money to support myself.
It's the typology.
I know I've got a rich lifestyle. I do drive an old car.
Compensate for the excesses elsewhere.
Last comment.
Next to yours, I know your car.
I think it's a good concept. You just need to not show those buildings. No, don't show the buildings. You are landscape?
Architecture.
Architecture.
Landscape architecture.
Landscape architecture.
Just show the landscape.
Yeah, just show landscape.
Just show landscape.
There's a dim thing in the background.
No, but I mean, if it is an exercise on
They could be
typology
Could
and
be
density,
serious.
you don't need to show actually a shape. You just need to show the densities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's what Sue said. It's
Yeah.
that part of the project is data driven. That's fine. You're just presenting the data,
Yeah.
but not the.
And you might want to change the captions. I reckon you could reframe this subtly And we can talk about that later, but I think it could be reframed in a way that actually makes it stronger.
Sure.
But without too much work.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Chen.